Hello all, I'm back with the lecture summary for lecture number 5. So we started off the lecture by talking about in more detail what do you mean by task environment. So the task environment is nothing but essentially the problem to which rational agents are going to be solutions to. Okay, so AI problems for which the rational agents that we are representing them as are going to be solution to are referred to as task environment. To specify the task environment, we evolve a technique called as PEAS descriptors or PEAS description of the task environment. This PEAS stands for performance measure, environment, actuators, and sensors. Once we are able to analyze all these four components, it will be easier for us to represent the given problem as as an rational agent. Okay, so that's the purpose of understanding PEAS descriptor. An important part of these PEAS descriptors is the environment, because it is going to play the central role in the development of this descriptor and ultimately the agent that we are going to represent the problem as. Now, going ahead, we talked about what are different kinds of agent task environment properties. So, to analyze the environment properly, we attribute certain 7 dimensions to this particular environment which the problem is represented in. These 7 types of properties are as follows: fully and partially observable task environment, single or multi-agent task environment. Further, if the task environment is multi-agent task environment, it could be multi-agent cooperative or multi-agent competitive task environment. Third categorization or dimension along which the environment properties are studied is either the deterministic or the stochastic nature of the agent task environment. There is always a distinction between stochastic and non-deterministic. So if something is deterministic, it means we can predict based on the current observations the state of the environment. Something would be stochastic if based on current observation and past history we may not be sure about the state of the environment, but there is certain probabilistic behavior the environment is showing. So we may think that if the current state is say S1, the uh, environment is going to be, if a particular action is taken, either state 2 or state 3, 50-50% of the time. That is 50% chance of going to state 2 and 50% chances of going to state 3. If this is the nature of the environment, we can attribute probability of occurrence to reaching state 2 or probability of occurrence to reaching state 3 as zero point 0.5 each, and this is fully specified probability distribution. Hence, we refer to such environment as stochastic environment. On the other hand, if the environment is non-deterministic, it means that based on the current state and previous known information, we won't be able to predict even with the probabilistic probability distribution what could be the next state. So that's the distinction between a stochastic environment and a non-deterministic environment. So non-deterministic environment is totally chaotic and we might not have any probabilistic model for modeling that undeterminate behavior of the environment. So they are the hardest one to be implemented. Going next, the fourth dimensions that we talked about was episodic versus sequential task environment. Then we talked about discrete versus continuous task environment. Then we discussed about static versus dynamic task environment. We acknowledge the fact that sometimes there are certain environments which we may refer to as semi-dynamic environment, because maybe the environment itself is not dynamic, that is, it's not changing with respect to the time, but the way the agent is performing the task, that is its actions, they are going to have different effect on the environment over the passage of time. This may occur in many real world problems, that is, the action that you do at the start of a particular game are not the same, are not going to give you the same results when you do the similar kind of action into some other portion of the game, be it chess, be it cricket, be it any other particular competitive game. So there are a lot of instances or examples where we come across the environment which itself does not change. That is, the rules of the environment remain the same. The way the state is defined doesn't change. The variable ranges for each property of the state remain the same. But the actions that the agent are doing, either they vary or their effect varies, and thus such environment would be referred to as semi-dynamic environment. That is, environment itself is not dynamic, but certain agent qualities that are making the environment dynamic. The last but important kind of task environment property that was discussed was known versus unknown, and this property is going to tell you whether the problem that you are solving is known or it is not known. Okay. Now, at the uh, back end of the lecture, we started discussing how these agent environment properties could be used in order to describe an agent task environment. So, this sentence I would like your uh, attention to, and that sentence is one might expect the hardest case would be an environment that is partially observable, having multi agents, stochastic nature, which is sequential but dynamic, and continuously the values are sensed through the through the agent sensors, but it is also an unknown environment. So these things, so this is the way we need to attribute various characteristics or the properties to each dimension while describing the given task environment to us for solving using AI technique. Okay, so that's the thing that we need to understand. We also saw figure 2.6, wherein we saw that there are various task environments defined and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dimensions of various properties of task environments are written, and we create a tabulation saying, say if we are talking about crossword puzzle, it is a fully observable environment wherein there is only a single agent, because there is only one single person who is actually playing or solving the crossword puzzle. Then such environment is deterministic, it is an episodic environment, and surely it is a static because you already define your crossword puzzle and provide it for the solution, and you do not alter it in between or randomize it in between. So it's a static environment, and it is a discrete environment because you take turn on solving it one after the other, as well as you observe it after one turn is complete because your state gets updated of the puzzle board. Okay, a lot of board game would be of a similar kind. When you are playing chess with a clock, so you know how the chess with clock is played. You have limited amount of time to take a decision of what move you want to do, and depending on what move you do, you are scored. If you take longer than a stipulated time, you are penalized for taking such moves. So with limited amount of time to take move, you can't see further steps or you can't simulate the further steps in your mind, and thus you're limited to certain bounded rationality, and due to which the task environment properties get altered from otherwise when you play chess. Here, the chessboard is known to both the agents that are playing against each other, maybe human to human, human to machine, or machine to machine, whatever may be the scenario. But there are two players who are playing in the chess as a game, so it's a multi agent environment. It's fully observable because both the players exactly know what move their opponent has taken up, and because of which what changes to the board have taken place. So it's a fully observable environment, and it is fully observable for both the players. That's an important thing to judge as well. Next thing, it's a deterministic environment because you know if I take this move, it's going to change the board condition or board state a particular way only. There's no probabilistic behavior here, so it's not stochastic. and it is definitely not non-deterministic. As far as episode nature of the environment is across the time period is concerned, it's going to be a sequential environment, because the step you took at present is going to impact what you are going to do in future, because your steps, your opponent is going to react to them with his step, and further the sequence continues. Hence it's a sequential kind of an environment. So what you do now is going to impact you sometime later in the future, and what you do in the future is always impacted by what you do earlier, because you're playing a strategy based game. So if you have taken certain move at say time equals to 2, at time equals to 4, means whenever the fourth turn comes to you, you must have planned something to be done at that particular time. It's in that sense also a sequential in nature. It is going to be a static environment or dynamic, that is dependent on whether you are using a clock or not. Since you are using a clock, it is not going to be a static environment, because given the stipulated time early in the game, you might have less or limited number of look aheads, because of which you could look ahead further, but at the middle of the game there could be less opportunity to look ahead and come up with a particular action that you otherwise would come, given no limitation of time. So hence the action that the agents are going to perform here, they are limited with respect to time. Hence the environment is semi dynamic. It's not fully dynamic, because the rules of the games are not changing, but the way the players are playing depends on how fast or how slow they are able to make the decisions. Hence, it is semi-dynamic. Now, the nature of this game is definitely discrete, because you're taking turns, and turns means being discretized. Similarly, you can analyze the rest of the uh, things listed on this particular window, and I hope you have understood what exactly we have discussed in this particular lecture. So we'll see in some other video. Thank you.